I cannot believe this month I will be turning 38, and oh my god, where have these years been? But honestly, I feel like now I'm aligned with my deeper purpose of life and I'm just getting started. And last night I was having reflection, like what I would tell my younger self if I would talk to her, if I would tell her. And if you're watching somebody who is in your early 30s, in your 20s, whatever age you're watching, these are the 15 lessons I would tell my younger self. So let's start it. By the way, if you are new around here, hi, my name is Ankita. I live in Vancouver, Canada. I am 38 years old now, soon, I can say this, almost. And I am a brand owner of Ankara, and at age of 35, I decided to rewrite my story. I quit my draining 9 to 5 and I started my life all over again. And I also make YouTube videos for people like you because I know you're ambitious. You're watching this video because you also want to change your life for better. The first one that I want to start with is that I would tell my younger self, do not try to fit in. I know that growing up, I always felt like, okay, everybody is around me is doing these things, so maybe I also need to follow them. Maybe I also need to fit in. But a lot of time I never fit in. I always question the system. I always questioned a lot of belief, everything around me. But I always thought maybe I have some attitude problem, maybe I have an arrogance problem. But none of the thing was there. It was just that I was never meant to fit in. I know next one might sound superficial to you, but growing up, I never felt that I'm a beautiful person. Growing up, I never felt that I'm even worthy. Every time if someone say to me, oh, you are so beautiful, I would look at them and think like, how? And it took me 35 years. It is so sad, but it took me 35 years after doing therapy, inner work. Now I started to believe that yes, I'm beautiful. I'm accepting myself as who I am. I'm accepting my flaws, but I'm also accepting internally, externally who I am becoming. And it is so common, especially it's problem with the women, that we always look at our flaws. Oh, but what about our cellulite? Oh, what about our dark circles? What about our acne marks? What about my weight? What about my body? What about my height? We always dissect ourselves and we don't realize those are the society standards that society put on us. We don't need to fit in. And we are beautiful in our own way. Every single woman, every single person is beautiful. The problem is we don't accept that. We always just train to look at our flaws. And I'm not saying in a narcissist way that, oh my God, I'm so beautiful, I'm better. It's not that. It's just accepting internally as well who we are. Do not live for other. If you are somebody who is watching, and if you are someone who always live for others, meaning that you always want to make sure that everybody around you is happy with you. And that was the case for me. Like every single person has a different family setting. But growing up, I always had this, like everybody around me is okay. Everybody around me is happy. And almost like walking on an eggshell every single day. And this is actually not healthy. You do not have to worry about every single person. You just need to think about yourself. It's almost like you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to refill your cup first. In order to love someone else, you need to love yourself. And I would say this, and I know as a woman, we struggle a lot, that we often just take care of every single person around us, but never ourselves. This one holds back a lot of people. And that is, do not give a about other people. And I know that it seems like, oh, but it's so hard. It's easy to say. I lived every single day that way. I always thought about other people. I was that person that would always think about other person than myself. I would always think every action, everything that I wanted to do, oh, what about someone else gonna say? Oh, what they think about me? Who give a damn about them? When we leave our earth, who is responsible? When we are here for a short while, why do we care about other people? And to be honest, other people are so occupied their own problems. If you talk to anyone, in 5 minutes, they'll tell you all their life's problem to you. That tells you that they are so occupied. They don't barely have time to look at your life. But whole life, I was thinking everybody's eyes is focused on me. But who gives a damn? You just have to think about yourself. Because at the end of the day, when I make decision to change my life, it didn't change anybody else's life. It was just me that was holding me back. It was not somebody else. If you're watching this and if you're thinking that what other people are going to say affecting you a lot, make a tiny decision today, right now, any decision. I challenge you, and then don't give a damn about others. Oh, this one is going to be the hard one, but I would definitely tell my younger self is to listen to your heart. I know we live in this society, we're told to think logical, to use your brain and make the logic decision. It is true. I'm not saying that don't make logical decision. Yes, use your brain for the facts if you have to make decision. But if you want to make a sound decision, listen to your heart. I have definitely implemented this in my life. When I wanted to make a decision, especially in the business or any personal life, professional, whatever, I look at the facts. Yes, I use my logical brain, but at the end, I listen to my heart more. I just go inwards and I think about that decision, what my heart is saying, what your soul is saying, what is your instinct, gut, whatever you call it. And if you're somebody, if you struggle to do that, the voice is not going to come right away. It's going to take some time, and it's almost like a muscle. The more you listen to your heart, the more your heart is going to talk to you. Take more risk. I know you have heard this, but I would definitely tell my younger self. Growing up, I always played safe. I always did things where I can see the path, where I can reverse my decisions. But honestly, if we take life as an experiment, there's nothing wrong with taking more risk. The more safe you play, you're not even living your life properly. Like, imagine we have this beautiful earth. We can go hiking, we can see beautiful things, we can go swimming. We have such a beautiful earth, and the Mother Nature is the most beautiful thing. But imagine if we just sit in our home. Oh, because it's the most safest place. I'm not going to go out. I'm just going to lock myself in the house, and I'm just going to die here. And that is what we are doing every single day with our life. We're just dying every single day, slowly and slowly, without realizing, by not taking enough risk. I used to think, oh my God, quitting a job, it's a big thing. Oh my God, Ankita, you're gonna be homeless. Like, literally, that was my fear. But it's actually not true. The more risk we take, the more rewards we're gonna get. And I would tell every single person watching this is take more risk and build your tolerance. I'm not asking you to go and quit your job, no. But take risk, whatever the risk that you want to take. It could be tiny risk, it could be big risk, whatever you're comfortable with, and build the tolerance over a period of time. This is for every single woman, and I know that I suffered a lot with this growing up, is not believing in myself enough. I always thought everybody around me is so intelligent, is so smart, they know the best, and I let them drive my car, and I was always sitting in the passenger seat. And that was the biggest mistake, because I never trusted myself, because I always thought I am going to make a bad decision, so let other people make the decision for me. It is actually the worst, because at least if you take that decision, then you are responsible for it, right? And I would tell my younger self to believe in herself. I know for a woman, it's so hard for us because we're often just trusting and believing every single person around us, but we never trust ourselves. And if we can trust ourselves, our life would be so much different. Rest is productive, and I still suffer till this date. It is something that I'm learning every single day. I remind myself that resting is also productive. And growing up, I also saw around me that resting is always considered as laziness. Like, if you're resting, you're not productive, you're not doing, like, every single second you need to do something. And I am this way. Like, every single second, if I'm not working on my brand, if I'm not working on this YouTube channel, if I'm not doing anything productive, then I'm lazy. But I tell myself the rest is as important as productive work, because the resting is basically refueling yourself. If you're not refueling, then how you can be productive? And if you're watching, I know if you're watching this, you're an ambitious person, then you definitely have this problem, and that is being productive every single second, and being busy is actually not productive. Next is, it's okay to fail, and it's okay to try a lot. And I wish if I could go back, I would do a lot of things. I would fail a lot. And I want to remind here that we often tie failure as our identity. Failure it's actually not a bad thing. Failing means you're learning something, but we always see failure as some sort of a bad thing. We are a stupid person, we made the stupid decision, and that's why we're failing. No, it's just that we are learning. A lot of things that we don't know. Like, I don't know a lot of things. I don't know how I'm learning how to do editing. I am not good at this because I never learned this. But if I'm going to try it, then only I'm going to learn it. There's no such thing as failure. And this is what I would tell every single person. I would tell my younger self. I would tell everybody to try more things. The more you try, the more you're going to learn and more you're going to succeed. Have you seen anyone who never try anything, then they win anything? No, they never. The more you're going to try, the more you're going to get reward. Embrace your uniqueness and do not follow any people or any trend. I definitely always follow other people. I remember this was kind of tied in a people pleasing. Like, I would never speak up thing. For example, if I do not like roses and somebody, my friend would say, oh, I like roses, I would just say it. Oh yeah, I like roses too. No, just say it. You don't like roses. You do not like them. You like lilies, and it's okay. Accept your uniqueness. You don't have to say what everybody else is saying. It's okay to be different. And I felt that it's not okay to speak up. It's not okay to stand out. It's okay to just blend in. And I struggle whole my life. And the day that I stopped doing, I always stand out and I am more confident. I don't care about blending because I'm not meant for blending. I am unique, and this is why I'm happy. The more authentic you are to yourself, the more happier you're going to be. Especially if you're a teenager and if you're in early 20s, more you accept yourself, the best your life is going to be. Do not hang out with mean friends. I know this is something I definitely needed to hear this as a younger self, because I had a lot of mean friends and a lot of mean people around me. And I always thought, how can everybody be bad? How can everybody be so negative? There gotta be something wrong in me. And it's almost like when a fish swimming in the bad water or dirty water and thinking that something wrong with me. How come all water can be bad? But as soon as you take that fish and put it in the clean water, the fish realized, holy shit, that was actually the water. I was not the problem. The problem was the water. And that's exactly was my case that I had. I hung out around really mean and terrible friends. They were mean to me. They were disrespectful to me. And I always thought that how can everybody be bad? Yes, everybody can be bad. It's not that you are only getting the bad friends. It's just a matter of time. Once you attract the right kind of people, once you attract the people who really support you, then you'll know what true friend really means. And for that, even if you have to stay alone, I would choose that rather than wasting my time and energy on the negative people. Do not aim for perfection. Oh my God, I need a screenshot of that every single day because I am getting better, but I struggled a lot with perfectionism. I'm a very ambitious perfectionist person, and I used to just do things in a perfect way. And once I read this, I forgot where I read it, but once I read it, perfectionism is actually killer of a success. I have this on a sticky note in front of my desktop, and I read it every single day. Every time when I go in this mode where I'm trying to be the perfect, I always remind myself that remember, perfectionism is a killer of success. And if you're watching this, if you are somebody who is perfectionist, I want you to remind yourself every single day. It's important to have a momentum rather than perfection. This is for every single woman out there. Do not let anyone disrespect you. I know as a woman, we sometimes ignore when people disrespect us, even in family, friends, relative, whatever. And I was exactly the same. I would think that, oh, it's okay, just forgive people. I still, till this date, believe in forgiveness, but I also hold my boundary. And I never learn about the whole concept of boundary, like especially our South Asian community. There's no boundary. Like people in your face, they have no boundaries. But the more boundaries you have, the better you're going to become. You are going to respect yourself more. And I learned this in therapy. Boundaries are so healthy for you if they are healthy boundaries. I'm not saying you cut off people, but establishing healthy boundaries are the one of the best thing you can do to yourself. You don't want to be available to every single person, and then you're going to think that why people are not respectful to me. Well, you are the one. You never told somebody that how to treat you. Because you never build those boundaries, people are disrespecting you all the time. And once I build this boundary, I am the most happiest. Read more books. I cannot emphasize this enough, and I wish I can go back and tell my younger self to invest in yourself, read more books, take more courses, because that is the best thing you can do. We think that education is the best way, but to be honest, education is not the best way to learn anything. You need to read a lot of books, but what we learn in education is just our curriculum. It's not teaching us anything. It's just the set standard that we have to learn in order to pass our exam. But if you want to gain a true knowledge, you need to invest a lot in the courses. Of course, you need to be careful what courses you take, but read a lot of books. The books are free. They're available. I mean, even if you have to buy some books, it's a little investment compared to how much it's going to transform you. So I would highly recommend, if one thing you want to take away from this video is take this. Read a tons and tons of books. Do not compromise. Do not compromise. And it is so easy, especially for our women, that we are often told that we don't have to have a high standard. And if we have a high standard, then we're some sort of a bad person. Like, men can have a high standard, but women cannot have a high standard. But I would say to my younger self is, do not compromise. It's okay to hold your standard. And remember, I used to have a lot of high standard, but thinking about what other people around me are saying, I would just lower my bars and I would not have, and I would compromise. But this is something I remind my son, he's only 5, and I remind him every single day, never compromise. Do not believe in compromising in anything. It just starts with a small decision. It could be that you are going in a store, you're wanting to buy a dress, and if you don't get it, you start to compromise. You don't have to. It's a mindset. Once you start compromising on your outfit, then you start compromising on your money, then you start compromising on your career, on your men in your life, or whatever that is. You start compromising on your goals. That's how it starts. Then you settle for mediocre. Then you live the mediocre life. If there is one lesson that you would take away from this video, I would love if you could leave it in the comment. I would love to read your comments. If you can tell me what is the one lesson that you would take away from this video, I would love to hear from you. And by the way, if you're wondering how I was able to change my life at 35, then I would highly recommend watching this video, because I shared step by step the mindset, the system that I use to change my life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.